Hello my dear students and welcome back to Zenith Academy Online. We are on part 4 of the chapter Ray Optics and Optical Instruments for CBSE class 12. And in this part, we'll be talking about total internal reflection. So my dear students, can you see the diagram here? This is medium 1 and this is medium 2. So whenever you see an incident light beam which is traveling from denser to a rarer medium, what happens when a light travels from an optically denser medium to a rarer medium? At the interface, so this is the interface, at the interface what happens? It's partly reflected back to the same medium. So if you see here, half of the light is partially it reflects back to the same medium, that is in water itself or in the denser medium itself, and some of it is refracted. Okay, so when it is moving from denser to rarer, it is moving away from the normal like this, and some of it is reflecting back in the same medium. So now let us talk about what is this internal reflection. Okay, now this is a denser medium and this is a rarer medium, and if you see from this point A, this is the incident ray. Okay, so when it is moving from denser to rarer, it will go away from the normal. Okay, now in the second case, you see, if this was the incident angle, I have increased the inclination. Okay, so I have increased this angle of incidence. Here you can see this is less, here it is more. So if I increase the inclination here, this will be refracted more. Okay, now if I keep on increasing, now here you can see this angle is so much increased, the angle of incidence is so much increased, so that the refracted ray becomes normal to this surface. Okay, that is, it comes on the interface. Okay, so here this incident angle is called critical angle. So what is this critical angle? Critical angle is this angle at which the refracted ray falls on the interface separating the two media. Now if I further increase this angle of incidence, okay, such that now this angle of incidence is more than the critical angle, then it will bend inside in the same medium. So now here there will be no refraction, but totally it will reflect back in the same medium. Okay, so I'll repeat this here again. You can see as the angle of incidence increases, so as this angle of incidence keeps on increasing, what is happening? The angle of refraction also increased till the angle of refraction is pi by 2. Now what is pi by 2? That is 90 degree. Now at this angle, the critical angle, the angle of refraction is this. See, you can see the angle that the refracted ray makes with the normal is 90 degree. So till here it will refract. Now the refracted ray is bent so much away from the normal that it grazes the surface at the interface between the two media. Okay, so it is at the interface separating the two media. Now, if the angle of incidence is increased still further, then refraction is not possible. So if this angle of incidence is increased more, now refraction will not happen. Now what will happen? The incident ray is totally reflected. So it is reflected back in the same medium. This is called total internal reflection. Okay. Why the word total? Because here at these points you can see there is some light which is getting refracted and some which is reflected in the same medium. Okay. So partially there is reflection happening and partially there is refraction happening. But at this point, when this angle of incidence is more than the critical angle, at that time there is no refraction, only internal reflection. So that is why we call total internal reflection. And when total internal reflection takes place? When the angle of incidence is more than critical angle. And what is critical angle? Critical angle is the angle of incidence at which the refracted ray is making an angle pi by 2 with normal. So here you can see this is a shiny surface, and this torch, from this torch incident ray is coming here, and here it is getting reflected. So when light gets reflected by a surface, normally some fraction of it gets transmitted. So some of it is getting transmitted here as well. The reflected ray therefore is always less intense than the incident ray. So this way the reflected ray is always less intense than this incident ray. But in case of total internal reflection, it's not the case. In total internal reflection, on the other hand, no transmission of light takes place. So whenever you are trying to send a light here in your total internal reflection, what is the condition? It should enter from denser medium. So here when it is, when this angle is more than the critical angle, it will totally internally reflect. Okay. Now in this case, there is no transmission. None of the light is going above. Okay. So there is no transmission. So there is no change in the energy or the intensity of this light. Okay. Whereas if you take a smooth surface, however smooth the surface may be, if you are reflecting light, okay, then some light is transmitted, and hence the intensity of this light is not similar to the intensity of the incident ray. Whereas in total internal reflection, the transmission is not there, therefore the intensity will not change. Now let us revise what is critical angle. So the angle of incidence corresponding to angle of refraction 90 degree is called the critical angle. So that angle of incidence at which the corresponding angle of refraction is pi by 2 or 90 degree is called the critical angle, okay, for the given pair of media. Now we see from Snell's law, all of you remember what is Snell's law? So from Snell's law we see that if the relative refractive index of the refracting medium is less than 1, then since the maximum value of sin r is unity, there is an upper limit to the value of sin I for which the law can be satisfied, that is I equal to IC, such that sin IC is N21. Now what is this? Now we know N1 over N2,
that is refractive index of first medium with respect to the second,
is equal to sin R over sin I, right? So now if the maximum value that it can take is 1, okay, sin R, so when it will be 1, okay, when this will be 1, can you tell me? When R is 90, because sin 90 is 1, okay. So when R is 90, we know in critical angle the refracted angle is 90. So when R is 90, this becomes 1, okay, and this is refractive index of first with respect to second. So we know when this R is 90, okay, the refracted angle is 90. What is this angle? This is critical angle, okay. So what we can write here is, this is sin 90 over sin I. So sin 90 can be 1 and this can be critical angle and this is N12. So
we can say that sin I critical is equal to N21.
Okay. So what we can say, that if relative refractive index of the refractive medium is less than 1, so if this is less than 1, since the maximum value of sin R is unity, since the maximum value of this is 1, and why 1? Because sin 90 is 1, okay. There is an upper limit to the value of sin I for which the law can be satisfied. So for the law to be satisfied, this value sin I, or you can say the angle of incidence, has to be critical angle, okay, such that your I is equal to critical angle, such that sin IC is N21 or IC is 1 upon N12, okay. Now for values of I larger than IC, now values of incident angle which is larger than critical angle, what happens? Snell's law of refraction cannot be satisfied. Why? Because the maximum that it can have is 1. Now if the angle is more than 90, it cannot have 1. So for values of I larger than IC, Snell's law of refraction cannot be satisfied and hence no refraction is possible. And therefore the refractive index of medium 1 with respect to rarer medium 2 will be N12, which is equal to 1 upon sin IC. So here is the table of critical angle of some transparent medium with respect to air. So you can see for water the critical angle is 48, For crown glass, it is 41.14. For glass, we will take 42 degree angle. Okay, this is very important. 42 degree angle as a critical angle for many of our numerical sums. So always remember, in case of total internal reflection, N12, that is the refractive index of denser medium with respect to rarer medium, will always be 1 over sine of the critical angle. Okay. Now here, let us revise. So if this is water and this is air, okay, if this is the incident ray, okay, now in this case, if this is the angle of incidence, then after refraction it will go away from the normal. Now if I increase this angle, okay, such that the refracted ray is on the interface, then this angle of incidence, okay, is known as critical angle. Okay. Now if I further increase the incident angle, okay, now you can see I further increase the incident angle. Now there will be no refraction, only total internal reflection. So I hope you have understood the concept of total internal reflection very well. Now let us see the demonstration of total internal reflection. Now you take a glass beaker, okay, a glass vessel filled with water. Now if you want to do any experiment on ray optics, you have to take a colloidal solution. So the water has to be mixed with maybe some amount of soap to make it turgid, so that when you pass any laser light through it, the path of the beam is visible. Okay. So what you take a glass beaker, fill it with water, make it turgid by adding some soap to it, and then you can direct your torch, your laser beam from the bottom. Okay. So when you direct the laser beam from the bottom, what do you see? That at the roof you will see a spot. Okay. Also at the bottom you will also see a spot. Okay. So this means there is some refraction happening, and some of it is partially reflecting. Now if you increase this angle, so if you pass it through the walls, okay, what you have done, you have increased the angle. So you keep on increasing the angle in such a way that on the roof there is no spot. Okay. If you get such an angle, now there is no spot, then you will see that only the light will be reflected back and you will see a spot down. This shows total internal reflection. Okay. This explains you the phenomenon. Now you transfer the same water in a test tube, okay, same turgid water in a test tube, and try to pass light like this. Okay, your torch, your laser beam from here, and adjust the position of the laser beam such that there is total internal reflection and you are able to see the spot here. This is how optic cables work. Okay, so you can try adjusting the positions of your laser beam such to get a beam like this in which there is total internal reflection. Now let us talk about total internal reflection in nature and its technological applications. So first is mirage. This is very important, my dear students, so pay attention here. Now in a mirage, what happens? What is a mirage? So whenever you go to a very hot desert, okay, you feel like you are hallucinating and you are seeing maybe a water body, a sea or a pond or something. Okay, but actually when you reach that place, there is no pond or no water body. Okay, so why it happens? Okay, why do you hallucinate? Why do you think that you are hallucinating and seeing it? It is actually not a hallucination, it is science. Okay, so if you see, this is the surface, okay, this is the ground, okay, and here is the observer and there is a tree. If you see near the surface, the temperature is very high, it's a hot desert, the sand is very hot, so the air just above the sand will be extremely hot, so its density will be less, and as you go up, there is cool air above it, so the medium becomes more dense. The density keeps on increasing because it is getting cooled. So if this is your surface, this layer will be a rarer medium as you go above. Okay, this layer will be a denser medium. Okay, so now when light travels from a denser to a rarer medium, what happens when it is traveling through this layer? Okay, at this point, what is happening? If I draw a normal here, if I draw a normal here, okay, it is moving from the dense to the rare, so it will move away from the normal, so it has moved like this. Okay, now here, then it keeps on doing this. At a particular point near the earth, what happens? This angle becomes so high, this angle exceeds the critical angle, and therefore light totally reflects back. There is no refraction. Okay, so light is reflecting back and reaching the eyes of the observer. So if this line is drawn back, okay, it appears to have come from this point. So the observer feels that the light that is entering his eyes. So here is the observer, he feels that the light that is entering into his eyes is basically coming from the earth, from the ground, below the tree. So obviously he assumes that there is a water body in which the reflection of tree is falling, and that is why I am able to see the reflection. Whereas what is happening here is, here due to the varying density there is refraction until a point is reached that this incident angle is greater than the critical angle, then there is total internal reflection, then here again there is bending of light and light enters into your eyes. Okay. So let us see how you will write your answer. On hot summer days, the air near the ground becomes hotter than the air at higher levels. So near the air near the earth is hotter. Okay. The refractive index of air increases with density. We know that as density is increasing, as we are going up, the refractive index is also going up. Okay. Hotter air is less dense. We know hotter air is less dense, and therefore it has a smaller refractive index than the cooler air. Now, if the air currents are small, now if we assume that there is no air currents, okay, the air current is not there, it's a very pleasant and stable environment, then, and if you assume that air is still, then the optical density at different layers of air increases with height. So the optical density keeps on changing. As a result, light from a tall object such as a tree passes through a medium whose refractive index decreases towards the ground. So when light from the tree is falling in a medium such that the refractive index is going down, okay, we already studied where will internal reflection, total internal reflection happen, when light will go from denser to rarer. So from dense to rare it is going. Thus a ray of light from such an object successfully bends away from the normal and undergoes total internal reflection. Now, if the angle of incidence for air near the ground exceeds the critical angle, okay, then to a distant observer the light appears to be coming from somewhere below the ground, and the observer naturally assumes that the light is being reflected from the ground, say by a pool of water near the tall object. Such inverted images of distant tall objects cause an optical illusion. So mirage is an optical illusion to the observer. This phenomena is called mirage, and this type of mirage is especially common in hot deserts. So we'll just revise the diagram again. See, this is an optical denser medium and this is optical rarer medium. So light is entering from dense to rare medium. Okay, if this is normal, it will keep on bending away from the normal until a point will come where, if I draw normal here, this angle of incidence is more than critical angle. If this is more than critical angle, then total internal reflection will take place. The light will go like this. Okay. Here again, if I draw a normal, if the ray is entering from rarer to a denser medium, it will move towards the normal. That is why it will bend like this and enter into our eyes. Okay. And when the ray entering into our eyes is extended back, when it is produced back, it appears to have come from here. Okay, so that is why we are able to see an inverted image due to the difference in the optical density of the layers. Now let's talk about this. Okay, you might have seen this, you might have noticed that while moving in a bus or a car, what happens during a hot summer day, a distant patch of road. So if you are traveling from here and if you see the distant patch of road, it appears to be wet. Okay. Whereas when you go near to that place, you see that it is completely clear, it is completely dry. Okay, so that was your optical illusion. Okay, so what it is Especially on a highway, it appears to be wet, but you do not find any evidence of wetness when you reach that spot. This is also due to, okay. So this optical illusion is also known as mirage. The same phenomena happens here. If you see this, okay, just see this. This is the road, and since it is hot, the air near is rare, and the air cool above, and the cooler air above is dense. Okay, so when light enters, so when light is falling from this car, okay, it is suffering here total internal reflection and entering into our eyes, and when this is produced back, it appears to have come from here. Okay, so same phenomena, exactly like what we did in mirage. Now let's talk about diamonds. We all know that diamonds are known for their spectacular brilliance. Okay, their brilliance is mainly due to their total internal reflection here. So it is due to total internal reflection of light inside them. Now children, you should always remember that the critical angle for diamond air interface, okay, so the critical angle, so suppose this is the diamond, okay, and if light is passing here on this interface, okay, so this is diamond and this is air. On this interface, okay, the critical angle is 24.4 degrees, okay, which is very less, very small. Therefore, once light enters a diamond, it is very likely to undergo total internal reflection inside it. Okay, since the critical angle of the interface between diamond and air is very less, 24.4 degree, that is why there is a lot of chance for the light to suffer multiple total internal reflection inside it. Diamonds found in nature rarely exhibit the brilliance for which they are known. Now, if you extract diamonds directly from the ground, directly from the earth, okay, you will not be able to see its shine. Okay, they rarely exhibit the brilliance which they are known for. It is the technical skill of the diamond cutter which makes diamonds to sparkle so brilliantly. So, by cutting the diamond suitably, multiple total internal reflections can be made to occur. Okay. So if you see here, when white light falls into it, it is having many internal reflections inside. Here you can also see that when it comes out of this interface, it shows dispersion as well. Okay, so there is a lot of total internal reflection, because of which it gives a shiny appearance, and also at times at certain angles it disperses. Okay, now let's talk about different types of prisms. Here also there is total internal reflection. Now see these diagrams, my dear children, very carefully. Okay, these two are 90-degree prisms. They are used to rotate an object. Here in this case it is, see, the object is like this and then the image is like this. You can see. So it has rotated the image by 90 degree. This has rotated the image by 180 degree. First it was standing and now it is there down. So by 180 degree. Okay. Here also you can see it has rotated by 180 degree. Okay. So we'll talk about these triangular prisms now. Suppose this is the incident ray. Okay. And this is a right angle prism. This is 90 degree. This is 45 and this is 45. So my dear children, what will be this angle? How will you determine this? Now suppose take this triangle. Take this triangle. This is 45 given. This is 90 we know. Okay. This is 90. So this will also be 45, correct? And since this is normal, so this full angle will be 90. So if this is 45, this has to be 45. Okay? So I hope you got how it is 45. Now the critical angle for glass is 42 degree. Right? We studied in the table it is 41 point something. So if we take it as 42 degree. Okay? Now 45 degree is greater than 42 degree. Okay, so whenever the incident angle is greater than critical angle, there will be total internal reflection. So this light which is incident here falling at 45 degree will reflect. Okay, total internal reflection. And the angle of incidence has to be equal to angle of reflection. So this will also be 45 degree. Okay, and this will fall like this. Now if we take another line from the image object, then it will also follow the same path. So the head of the object is here and the tail is here. So the object becomes like this. image becomes like this. Okay, so the image is inverted. Now in this case, if you see, this is the incident ray, okay, from the top of the object, and this is from the bottom. So here if you see in this triangle again, this is 45, this is 90, so this is 45. So if I draw a normal here, this is 45. 45 is more than the critical angle, so making the same angle of 45 degree, it will come here. Now here also if I draw a normal, again by calculation we will know that this is 45. So with a 45 degree reflection, it will come out. So this B has become B dash here. Similarly, A becomes A dash here. So the object which was standing is now inverted. Okay. So this has turned the object by 180 degree. So in both of these cases, you should remember that the critical angle for the material of the prism must be less than 45. Okay. And this is true for which type of prism? For ground glass and dense flint glass. Okay. This is how prisms make use of the phenomena of total internal reflection. Now let's talk about optical fibers. Now optical fibers are extensively used for transmitting audio and video signals through long distances. So whenever you want to transmit any video or audio signals for a very long distance, you make use of optical fibers. Now, optical fibers are fabricated with high quality composite glass or quartz fibers. So you should remember the material of optical fibers, because this is a very important question for your class 12th examination. Now each fiber consists of a core and a cladding. The refractive index of the material of the core is higher than that of the cladding. So if you see the figure, if you see this figure carefully, okay, you will see that inside is core and outside is cladding. Okay, can you see? So always remember that the refractive index of the material of the core is higher than that of the cladding. Now when a signal in the form of light is directed at one end, so here can you see, this is the signal of the light, it is directed at one end of the fiber at a suitable angle. What is suitable angle? The angle which is more than the critical angle. Okay. It undergoes repeated total internal reflections along the length of the fiber and finally comes out at the other end. So this angle has to be taken carefully, the incident angle, such that it suffers total internal reflection, and since we know that no transmission takes place or no wastage of energy takes place, okay, the intensity will be same. So even if after many total internal reflections, when it comes out, it has the same intensity, okay, no energy is wasted. That is why optical fibers are used to transmit these signals over a very long distances. Since light undergoes total internal reflection at each stage, there is no appreciable loss in the intensity of the light signal, and optical fibers are fabricated such that light reflected at one side of the inner surface strikes the other at an angle larger than the critical angle. So this surface also, it has to be more than critical angle, here, everywhere. Okay. Now, even if the fiber is bent, you can see here the fiber is bent. Even if the fiber is bent, light can easily travel along its length. Thus, an optical fiber can be used to act as an optical pipe. So here you can see this is an optical fiber cable. Okay, can you see the fiber cable here? Okay. So what is it doing? It is transmitting this. See, there is an analog information and digital information. Any types of input information is sent to the transmitter. From the transmitter over long distances through this optical fiber, it goes to the receiver block, and we are able to receive the output. Okay, the analog output or the digital output. So here the optic cables is used. Then optical fibers are also extensively used for transmitting and receiving electrical signals, which are converted to light by suitable transducers. So here you can see that electrical signal is here, and this is the optical fibers. Here total internal reflection is happening and we are getting electrical pulse as output. So you can see over long distances these optical fibers are used for transmitting and receiving the electrical signals. Now these are also used for transmission of optical signals. Now, for example, these are used as light pipe to facilitate visual examination. When you want to see the inside organs. Okay, so for visually examining the inside organs or the internal organs, okay, like esophagus, stomach and intestine, you use this. So see how it is done. So these are the optical fibers. From here the illumination or light is sent, and through this we are able to view it. Okay, so what happens when through total internal reflection light reaches the organs get light, and the light from the organs comes here after total reflection enters into our eyes, so we are able to see the internal organs. Now, decorative lamps with fine plastic fibers with the free ends forming a fountain-like structure. The other end of the fiber is fixed over an electrical lamp. So these are just fibers. One end is connected to the optical lamp. Okay. When the lamp is switched on, the light travels from the bottom of each fibers and appears at the tip of its free end as a dot of light. The fibers in such decorative lamps are optical fibers. So this is how it looks. So when you switch it on, light travels through each of the fiber and reaches as a dot. And if there's dark, if the room is dark, you can see light all around. Okay? So this is how it looks. Now, so what is the main requirement in fabricating optical fibers? This is very important. What is the main requirement? That there should be very little absorption of light as it travels for long distances inside them. Now, since they are traveling a very long distance, so the light, they should not absorb light. They should be of a material which do not absorb light, or we can say very little absorption of light. This has been achieved how? By purification and special preparation of materials such as quartz. Okay. Now in silica glass fibers, it is possible to transmit more than 95% of a light over a fiber length of 1 kilometer. Okay. So silica glass fibers are able to transmit light, okay, with 95% efficiency. That is, they are able to transmit more than 95% of light and absorb less than 5% only over a fiber length of 1 kilometer. So this was all about total internal reflection. I hope you have understood the concepts very well. If you have liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and write in the comment section as well. Please share these videos with all of your friends. Subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to receive the notification for the next video. Thank you and keep the learning on.